Hey guys, welcome to What the Flick. Better Call Saul, season 4, episode 3, called
Something Beautiful.
Something Beautiful. Man, these shows now they all end with Ray Seahorn just delivering emotion. Man, yeah. Like I don't know. I don't want to go overboard, but like she already should have been nominated for it. I mean, she's such a good actress. She's so good. This is it's such an incredibly well written role. I watched one of the after show things that's available if you watch it digitally, I guess, because I forgot to TiVo it in the old fashioned way, and they talked about Peter Gould talked about who's really running the show. Said that they, or maybe it was somebody else, but they love the scenes between Jimmy and Mike. Like they always think that sort of Better Call Saul that's its core.
Sure.
And there was a great one there.
Yeah, no, their energies are always so different.
Yeah, and you saw there the beginning, because we now know the relation, like that there is almost for the first time a fatherly quality to that relationship, because he says that line where he says, "Nah, it's not for me." And I don't think it's for you either. Right, yeah. He recognizes and then instantly transitions to really sorry to hear about your brother, right? And Jimmy, of course, whatever, who cares, doesn't matter. Right.
Okay, I am a dummy this week, so I need you to walk me through something.
I'm probably not gonna be able to.
What is going through Kim's mind when she sees the models and she sees how quickly they want to expand?
Oh, right. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought initially that her sort of friend who brought her into First Union or whatever the hell, Mesa Verde, right? I thought there was a shot of her in the long shot that suggested that she's also like, oh, I can't believe Kevin's showing you this, right? Kevin's lost his mind. This is an expansion that is too grand. I think it is self-doubt now, I guess. Like can she handle this? This is gonna require a
team of lawyers.
A team of light. It's her first sense of this should be done by H&M. That's not what it's called.
H&M. By Uniqlo.
Exactly, yeah. All right, Benetton needs to handle this. So that she is acknowledging that this is too big for her.
I see.
And then she's instantly deferring work to her whip smart.
Yes, played by Keiko Agena from Gilmore Girls.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. But her paralegal's going to handle that. So I think it's a sense of self-doubt, I guess.
Okay.
Or maybe not that she's not smart enough, but that this is just simply too big a job for her, and that maybe she needs to go back to her firm, or she certainly needs to bring in a partner for her. I don't know. That's what it seemed like. But it turned out her friend is not sort of aghast that Kevin is doing this. They seem to be on board together, committed to this Mesa Verde expansion.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was that, or if it was that she thinks, oh God, this is a terrible idea, how do I get out of here? Or if it's just sort of like her kind of taking it all in, and it's just kind of the show reminding us these are the sorts of financial institutions that are going to fail. Within a few years,
sure, right, yeah. Yeah, so it could be that. It could be this is all this hard work, night school, everything I sort of dedicated myself to make, and I'm going to make sure that this bank gets more bank branches. I don't know, yeah. But it's interesting, it's something, and she's obviously very emotional, as we saw by the final scene where Jimmy read, and I mean, that's a great Bob Odenkirk read of that letter.
And it's funny because when she mentioned the letter, I started thinking ahead. We're going to hear this letter like the next to last episode of this season. Like I think other shows would really drag it out. It would sit on a shelf somewhere, and nope, we're going to open it. We're going to read it. We're not going to shilly-shally around with it.
Two things about watching this with my wife. So one, when you're in an industry, you obviously, as I just did in our previous review of Searching, where I criticized the local news, right? And so my wife was like, there's no bank expansion where they make little miniature models of that. So I'm sure she's right. But it's a reminder that these shows can never be good enough.
I call shenanigans.
But her first thought was that Kim rewrote the letter. I don't think that's right, but I'm curious whether that.
Well, then would it have made her cry?
Because it didn't make a difference. It didn't have the desired effect. Jimmy wasn't moved by it.
Oh, right,
that she was trying perhaps to knock Jimmy off of her, what she's obviously been concerned about, which is that he is emotionally detached from this completely, and she was hoping. I don't think so either.
I think this show would let us know that.
I agree. I don't think.
Or immediately thereafter, like they wouldn't spring that on us 3 episodes.
I think it's possible he wrote the letter 5 years earlier, and somehow he just or
Forgot about it,
not 5 years earlier, but a couple years earlier when it seemed like, hey, Jimmy's turned a corner.
During that period where he had an office. You know,
It doesn't seem like he'd write it right there at the end.
No.
So I'm curious about that, if we get something out of that from. But anyway, it was certainly a surprise, and his read of it. I mean, again, and as you know, everything is, as we've learned from following these guys on Twitter, because they get asked all the time. Ray Seahorn and Michael McKean did, and Patrick Fabian, who was here last week. You know, hey, it seems like that was really improvised, and then they always say not one word. That the writers sort of give them the freedom to interpret, but it is always
the he said.
Right, which means I imagine that written in that script is Jimmy reads the letter as if it's, you know, and then, you know, dear Jimmy, it's been great having you here, blah, 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 new paragraph, I love that suit you wore Monday, I hope we can work together again soon. Well, okay, right? And which was incredibly powerful.
Somebody on Facebook said to me that he thinks the moment with Howard, where Howard sort of tries to take the blame for the suicide, and Jimmy's like, okay, well, you know, he says that's the moment where Saul Goodman is born.
That's right. It's entirely possible that that's the moment. But definitely Saul Goodman was born this episode with stealing the figurine.
Well, definitely. I mean, obviously he's used the name already, but I mean, in terms of the identity.
Right, but I mean, $4,000. Like, this is what you're going to risk this for. Again, it's not. You're not splitting 80,000. You're splitting $8 grand.
Right.
And you can spend 8 years in prison for breaking and entering. But as always, with the best of when Breaking Bad is at its best, when Better Call Saul is at its best, they sort of find these moments for this wonderfully dark black humor in the middle of it. And the moment where the guy's under the desk and he orders the pizza and then asks for 2 marinaras and a ranch. And the guy's like, oh. I mean.
And we got the dude from Billions as the pre-Walter White chemist.
We got Gale back. Yeah. I mean, that he can act. What's his name? Do we have his name?
We should know.
Yeah, we can look him up.
So David Costabile.
David Costabile, graduate of Tufts University. But great range from David Costabile, and good to see Gale back. And so needy and aching for Gus.
Yes. I mean, and Gus, of course, playing the longest of games, no matter how much it's. Nacho could have just died at any second.
But when he's on the phone with his boss there, you know, he's like, you know, so cultivate a source here. And he's like, no, really? Do you think that's a good idea? And then
Don Eladio.
And he's like, he's already there. He's already, I mean, right,
if you say so, I guess.
Right. He is, right, but he is way, way, way ahead of the game. And the Michael Mando, you know, when they're like, got to make it stick, make that call before you pass out. I mean, that whole set. And those brothers.
Oh, God, yeah, those Salamanca brothers.
The twins.
They're very
terrifying. They never say a word.
No.
It's so good. Anyway, I mean, this won't even stand out as one of the great episodes of Better Call Saul.
No.
And it was a great episode of Better Call Saul.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Like this video? That's terrific. Never miss another What the Flick video by hitting the subscribe button below. And if you ring the bell, you'll get notified whenever we publish a new one.